In a quiet village along the mighty Nile, nestled among green hills and endless savanna, there lived a young hunter named Kintu. Kintu was known throughout the village for his skill, his humble nature, and a quiet wisdom passed down from his ancestors. He had a special bond with the Nile. He could read omens in its waters and hear messages in the songs of the birds that gathered along its banks. In the same village lived Nabirye, the beautiful daughter of Chief Lukwago. Nabirye was not only a beauty, but also a healer in training, skilled in the ancient herbs and healing traditions her mother taught her. Her heart was kind, and her spirit was restless, caught between the life her father expected of her and a yearning for something beyond the boundaries of the village. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the Nile in golden hues, Kintu saw Nabirye gathering herbs by the river's edge. She looked like a goddess bathed in the light of the setting sun, her silhouette soft and ethereal. Kintu watched in silence, captivated. As their eyes met, a spark of recognition passed between them, a feeling of a bond neither of them could explain. From that day, Kintu and Nabirye found themselves drawn to the same stretch of riverbank, their encounters filled with shy smiles, gentle laughter, and an unspoken connection. They began to meet secretly, deep in the forest where the trees grew tall and the vines hung low. There, Kintu shared his knowledge of the land, showing Nabirye rare plants and sacred herbs. Nabirye, in turn, told Kintu of her dreams and her struggles. She longed for a life filled with purpose, but felt bound by the role her father and village had chosen for her. As they knelt together, hands touching the earth, Kintu's voice softened, and he confessed his dreams of a life without constraints, a life where they could be together. Nabirye listened, her heart pounding, realizing her feelings for him ran deeper than she had allowed herself to believe. But whispers of their connection soon reached Chief Lukwago. Furious, he summoned Nabirye, his voice heavy with disappointment and anger. He reminded her of the honor of their family and the traditions that were meant to be upheld. He had already chosen her suitor, Mwanga, the strongest warrior in the village, a man whose loyalty was to his ambitions rather than to Nabirye herself. The chief warned her that for the sake of the village and their lineage, she would wed Mwanga. Nabirye's heart sank, but she knew her father's resolve. That night, under the cover of darkness, Nabirye met Kintu by the river one last time. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears as she took his hand, both of them knowing the impossible choice they faced. Kintu pressed a small carved amulet into her hand, a token of his love and his protection. They vowed to be together, no matter what it took, and held each other close, as if their love alone could defy fate. But fate had already set its course. Mwanga, consumed with jealousy, confronted Kintu in the village square, accusing him of dishonor and betrayal. He challenged Kintu publicly, declaring his right to Nabirye and his desire to see Kintu banished. The villagers gathered, their faces tense as they watched the confrontation. Kintu, though heartbroken, stood resolute, prepared to defend his honor and the love that had become his entire world. A fierce struggle ensued, one that left the village in silence and awe. Kintu emerged victorious, but was weighed down by the knowledge that Nabirye would suffer if he stayed. In the aftermath, he realized the price of love might mean letting go. With a heavy heart, he decided to leave the village, believing that his absence would allow Nabirye a chance at peace, even if it meant a lifetime of his own sorrow. As the first rays of dawn touched the Nile, Kintu and Nabirye shared a final embrace by the river's edge. Their whispers carried across the water, promises of love and memories that would endure long after they were separated. Nabirye clutched the amulet he had given her, knowing it would be the only piece of him she would carry through her life. As he walked away, Kintu's figure faded into the distance, but the spirit of their love remained, entwined forever with the river that had first brought them together. And so, they say that if you stand by the Nile at dawn and listen closely, you can still hear the whispers of their love carried in the river's gentle song, a story passed down through generations, a love that, though torn by fate, flows eternally with the Nile.